Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your latest reading with me. This November and December, I want to look at what's coming through for you for the last couple of months of this year. This is going to be a little bit more of a predictive style tarot reading, slightly different to what I usually offer on a month-to-month basis for your sign. Reason being is I'm almost 41 weeks pregnant and transiting Neptune in Pisces, which is going to be in Pisces for the last time of our lifetime. It's almost at my Pisces sun in late degrees of Pisces. And the last time I was pregnant, Neptune was also on my Pisces sun. And I was, the veil was very thin. The veil is very thin for me now, and the veil is kind of thin for all of us. I'm recording on October 31st. But the window of opportunity where Neptune is on my sun and I'm heavily pregnant really seems to yield with very accurate predictions, more prophetic kind of insights. And I wanted to use this opportunity to hopefully deliver a practical and spiritual service for you now, Sag. Okay, so let's jump right in to see what's coming through this November for your sign. If you're new here, you may want to look back to my October reading for Sagittarius to get a feel for the usual kind of style readings I do, which are a little bit more focused on shadow work. They're a bit more of a deep dive in perhaps themes like soul growth and whatnot. This is going to be a little bit different, but if you like it, subscribe. I would love to see you here again. And if you're returning, of course, make sure you're subscribed if you like watching my videos. I have the Hermit, the Two of Swords, the Father of Cups, also seen as the King of Cups in many decks. Okay, I think you are continuing to be very much doing your own thing. These are quite private energies for November. You have a light that's very bright around you at the moment, Sag, but it isn't the obvious kind of Sagittarian sort of out and about in the world, and even maybe more jovial or kind of searching and traversing. It's like this light has been turned inwards and you're really getting to know who you truly are. And that journey is continuing this November, this kind of soul searching mission. And I think that, your privacy, your time spent alone, your inner world is so rich at the moment, and it is only continuing to deepen, and this kind of relationship you have with yourself is just going to develop into something just so so close-knit, you and you, this November. The Hermit card could also just see you being physically brought somewhere more private, or you taking yourself out of a situation and considering that it's more important for you to be less social, to spend time studying, to spend time on your craft, honing your skills, being more private, hermiting basically, and I'm with you here. I'm planning to be hermit in December, like completely. Like I said, I'll be giving birth this November, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. But I don't plan on being too out in the world for the last couple of months. And something about November for you brings you very much into sort of a withdrawal. And I want to clear, let me use this deck. I want to clear this Hermit card up. I'll just clear up the major arcana. In terms of your love life, in terms of your romantic relationships, if this applies to you, the Father of Cups shows something very strong this month. So let's start with if you're in a committed relationship, if you're with somebody. This suggests that there is going to be some sort of a transformation that occurs in your relationship that only brings you to, putting a pin in Daughter of Swords for the moment, that only brings you two closer together in deeper understanding of one another's vulnerabilities, one another's kind of like emotional foundations, why they are, how they are, why you are who you are. This speaks to an enhanced intimate connection, physically, emotionally, spiritually. This is suggesting that there's going to be some reason in November that your relationship has to grow and evolve and adapt, but that it's in unison with one another, like it's fortunately happening at the same time. Quite often when we're in relationships, we're either growing together or growing apart, and when we're growing apart, there is a choice there for one another. You know, will I be patient and wait for their growth, or is this something that's too incompatible? Or when it happens that sometimes you just have the same kind of breakthroughs or understandings, and that shows that, you know, you're growing at the same speed. And I think that the growth is a little bit more comfortable for you guys this month, but it is still really, really profound. So there's a lot to be said for the kind of unit that you're in and the sort of we, like everything. It's not abstract, like we do this, we do that. Like you see this relationship this month for some reason as like very much a, like it's merged. Now, for those of you who are not in a relationship but are interested, you could really be meeting somebody kind of life-changing this November. Does that have to be romantic? No, it doesn't. It could be some sort of a healer, a therapist, a coach, a sort of scorpionic, plutonic person who opens your heart and really allows you to delve deeper into how you relate to others. But for those of you who are looking to meet somebody romantically, this could be a good time to put yourself out there, prepare for the blessing coming through of uniting with somebody that, like, you know, that you really will grow and evolve with, and they will offer you quite a cataclysmic experience probably. A catalyst kind of experience for your growth. So yes, I could see you meeting somebody that will potentially be very, very serious quite soon, if that's what you're looking for and if that's what you're ready for. If you're not looking for relationships on the romantic level, keep your mind open to just kind of deepening relationships that already exist perhaps, and that might come with you after this sort of hermit phase, being like, you know what, I trust this person now, I'm ready to share. You maybe have been weighing up certain friendships and connections and maybe work relationships for a while and kind of trying to determine, can I trust this person? Am I vibing with this person? You know, you're like, is this like a healthy relationship, or is this a trauma bond? You know, you want to just make sure that you're connecting for healthy, functional, right reasons. And I think you've broken the seal, and I think that you have done your due diligence and kind of like measured this person up now enough to know that this probably could be a safe relationship for you to explore friendship or however it manifests. That Daughter of Swords and the Hermit card. Okay, let us know, okay? Let the world know, let the people in your life know. Put it on your newsletter, put it on your new website, put it out there in the world, Daughter of Swords, what it is that you have been discovering on your journey. Please share. That's the beauty of being a Sagittarius, right? The continuous student of life and the continuous teacher to others. So you've been maybe in a little bit more of a study or studacious mode. Now it's time for you to be more vocal about what it is that you have discovered in your shell, in your container of gaining wisdom, insight, and exploring your inner world and your research papers and reading your books. But now, could you please, Daughter of Swords says, you know, deliver this. This is in a more digital format usually. So like I said, newsletter, maybe it's time to actually make a newsletter that you can send out on a monthly basis. What else would I say? Maybe it's time for you to launch that website, to create that website, to get a little bit more tech savvy, to potentially, you know, redirect, you know, or have your out of office sort of response set up, like do those kind of administrative things that make your services or your way to reach you and what you're all about more automated, more handy and more convenient for others, less clunky. The Hermit card would say streamlined, more precise, and utilize technology for your benefit for sure. The Two of Swords, we haven't looked at the Two of Swords. So this month you, let me just say one more thing about the Daughter of Swords. It can often be a message that comes for you this month, Sag. And that will look like, you know, while you've been away, or it starts with like, hey, haven't heard from you for a while. It will be something that reflects like, because you've been a hermit, right? Oh, Sag, haven't seen you in a while, or you were missing at last week's team meeting, or, you know, we didn't catch you at the club, you know, or whatever. But it will reference that you've been in a hermit mode, and this kind of message or this invitation or offer or correspondence that comes through for you in November kind of maybe awakens you to sort of sharing more or being more chatty or more sociable. Now the Two of Swords, oh, that's interesting. This Father of Cups at the bottom of the deck. What's under him? Nine of Wands. Yeah, you're feeling quite guarded about who you're letting into your life, especially romantically, for those of you who aren't dating. So that's, I would honor that. You know, you do know best. So that's just a little message there. But the Two of Swords, you have a kind of difficult choice to make this month. How can I expand on that? You have a difficult choice to make this month. You've been sitting on the fence with this for a while. You haven't been very honest with yourself or others about this for a while. And now it comes the time where you're like, I would say, when would I say that this could come up for you? Probably like mid-November to third week of November onwards, where you have to really, to make a decision finally that looks kind of like a pee or get off the pot kind of a vibe. Something that you've been procrastinating on, holding back on, and rooted possibly in some doubt about not your abilities, or not even that you want this or not. It's doubt about whether you can express this correctly or whether you know enough. Like it's a kind of intellectual doubt. So let's look at December. The Lovers. There is something coming through for a big portion of you guys watching in terms of romantic relationships. Two of Wands and the Seven of Swords. You know, and then I get it, like at the bottom of the deck, it's like, no, Ace of Wands is reversed, like, no, get away from me, back off. And the Four of Cups in reverse is like, no, I am not interested in that. I hear you, okay? Yeah, not everybody's interested in stripping off emotionally, physically, bearing it all. There is still so much of a hermit focus. I get that. But come December, I do think that there is a bit more kind of a desire to be seen again. By another, by your peers, by your lover, by the kind of, maybe you have an online community, whatever it may be. And maybe you say, no, I've already been showing myself, I haven't really been hiding away too much. Okay, so a different side of yourself, maybe a different aspect of yourself. But I get it. Okay, I get it really loud and clear that if you're not interested in romance and love and hooking up or meeting somebody right now, totally honor that. We had the Nine of Wands come up with the Father of Cups. We have like this very much like no, negating, rejection, stay back. That is so valid. So there's obviously a reason that I don't know, and maybe you don't know, but probably you do. As to why that is coming through. And I think you gotta honor that. But for those of you who are really looking for love at this time, November into December is showing something about your readiness to really have this kind of union that is so like, it's not a walk in the park when we see the Lovers card. It may look like that, it looks like sunshine and flowers, but you know, my Sagittarian friend, who I hope will watch, we were talking more so about parent-child relationships, and she said to me, she said, no relationship is going to be perfect. And, you know, to think that way, I was talking to her about me and my son's relationship. She's an astrologer too. And we were kind of just looking at the synastry I have with my son. And I was like, oh boy, please, penny for your thoughts, girl. And she said something like, you know, it's fantasy to think that every relationship will be perfect. And that's what I'm picking up on here. You know, true soulful relationships, and they shouldn't be about suffering. We don't need to suffer to evolve, but we're looking at something that is real here. It's fantasy to believe that, you know, things will always be conflict free or not triggering. Now, there's obviously going to be a fine line in your limitations as to what's healthy for you and what's healthy for the other person, what's healthy in general. But we're looking at, Sag, this next relationship that you get into is going to take you to places that you maybe haven't been before, emotionally and spiritually, maybe physically too. So this is going to be a very awakening relationship for you, and a very pivotal, powerful, beautiful, and loving relationship. Now, if you're in a relationship, you're going to see these themes come through in November and December. This person really shows themselves in a way that honors you guys' growth, your value systems being in alignment, that they are doing the work, that you're doing the work that it takes to sustain a healthy relationship that's growing. And this comes through, okay, in a more tangible way. Could there be a proposal? Could there be a celebration, an anniversary, a wedding? Maybe, you know, some of you are getting married now in the next couple of months, or getting proposed to around this end of the year. So yeah, something really exciting and affirmative is happening in your romantic relationship, okay, if you're in one. So the Two of Wands, mentioned this in Leo's reading, so maybe you're a Sag with some Leo placements, but this Two of Wands came up in this position exactly here in the second card in December for them too. And I wanted to let you know that this would be a good month for you to plan your next big move in a bit more of a, less just imagination, but like, why don't I actually make a call about this, or take a step, or enroll or register in something that like kind of makes this commitment to this idea, or this loftier, like, oh, one day I would like to do this, and wouldn't it be great if, and oh, could I do this? Yeah, let's actually do something about it in December, because you've got some sort of a kind of energetic fuel. And you know what? Similarly to Leo, this came up, the Seven of Swords didn't come up, but this vibe came up. Like, you don't have to tell everybody about it either, you know? Share your relationship news, share what you've been learning, share with us. We've been missing you, Sag. But the Seven of Swords is more so like your next moves that have not really formulated yet, or kind of like been something, or like taken shape yet. Keep those a little bit more private. This December, you might have your guard up in a way around a certain person who you believe probably aren't who they say they are. I think your insights and instincts are really, really potent at the moment. So probably, yeah, you're probably right about that person, Seven of Swords. They're looking a little shady. And let them reveal themselves. You don't have to do anything vigilante style or anything like that. Just let them reveal themselves and maintain your boundaries, and don't let them screw up your plans. Okay, that's what I'm going to leave you with, Sagittarius, and I will see you real soon. Bye.